good, YouTube? Welcome back to JY's Adventures. This is highly requested. Y'all highly asked me to check out Nerd Explains, similar to Cinema Summary, with how to beat videos, how to survive videos. In this one, we're gonna be checking out how to beat the evil surgeon in The Human Centipede. I've watched that movie, bruh. One of the creepiest movies I've ever seen, and I loved it. I love horror movies, guys. So we're gonna see what Nerd Explains is all about. There's a reason why y'all wanted me to react to Nerd Explains, so we're gonna just hop right into it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment multiple times for the algorithm, and watch the video until the end. And the link to the original video is down in the description. Without any further ado, let's go.
If a mad scientist abducted you and sewed your mouth to another person's anus, what would you do? Jesus Christ, what have I gotten myself into? There is no way this video is monetized. Creepy movie. In this how to beat video, we'll follow the American tourists, see if we can make better decisions, and ultimately attempt to beat the crazed surgeon in The Human Centipede first sequence.
Oh
think
man,
you can do better? Let us know in the comments. Enjoy these how to beat videos? Why not like and subscribe? Have a movie you want me to cover? Vote on my Reddit page, link in the description.
Oh, you got a Reddit?
Did you know that there are hundreds, thousands of movies just like this that are blocked on Netflix and other streaming sites just because of where you live? Because someone decided that these movies can't be shown in your country. You should be outraged at this crime against humanity.
I think I feel about like certain things with YouTube and Spotify, bruh. I'm in the Caribbean, guys. So I ain't got access to Spotify legally. I gotta go for a VPN.
These movies can't be shown in your country. You should be outraged at this crime against humanity. Claim the content that big entertainment doesn't want you to see.
VPN!
With VPN. Atlas VPN is like a $1.39 upgrade to your $13.99 per month Netflix membership that unlocks all the
brand deal
movies
though.
and TV shows. It's the lowest priced VPN that
VPNs are really good
to circumvent the streaming site's restrictions. A demonstration. Notice how I searched for the movie Resident Evil, but it isn't there because I'm in the US. Normally this would suck, especially if I wanted to make a video on it.
Right.
But with a couple clicks over to Germany, it's now watchable.
There it is.
Movies like Upgrade, Hell or High Water, or Wind River also are not accessible to the US, but joke's on them. With a click, I'm now a Canadian resident and can watch them. And if you haven't seen the movies Shoot 'em Up or Hostel, because you can't if you're in the US, just click over to the UK.
Switch to that VPN.
This works
VPNs
for
are
all
really
other
good, y'all.
services too.
Go
like
support
Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO, and ESPN. So if you want to supercharge your streaming experience, upgrade with Atlas VPN's $1.39 a month membership by using the link in the description. All right, let's take this evil fucker down. We start out following a deranged man sitting on the side of a highway, caressing a picture of, as far as I can tell, a dog centipede.
Dog line
behavior. Moments later, a panicked truck driver pulls up behind him and rushes off into the bushes to make a pit stop. According to the director, the inspiration for this movie came from a joke he made with his friends about punishing a child molester by stitching his mouth to the of a fat truck driver, which is exactly what I would say to deflect further inspection from my own perverted psyche. Taco Tuesday was not kind to this fella, and now he's gonna pay the ultimate price for it. Besides not eating questionable food before
Taco Tuesday is not kind to him. That's where the inspiration for the movie came from.
And
that's
now he's
crazy.
Gonna pay the ultimate price for it. Besides not eating questionable food before a long haul, there's not much this poor truck driver could have done differently. As a general point, though,
shout out to all the truck drivers, though.
Far off the beaten path to use one of nature's dunnies. Privacy be damned. How many horror movies have you seen where someone ventures out of their camp at night to take a leak and gets mauled? A lot, right? How many video games have you played where you hid in the bushes and waited for some dipshit to wander off by themselves so you could slit their throat? Probably too many to be good for your mental health. Being alone with your pants at your ankles just makes you the perfect target for predators.
He got caught with his pants down.
The driver did anything wrong here, just wanted to make this point. Our main protagonists are two ditzy American tourists, Lindsay and Jenny. Of course, those are their names. These two bimbos accepted an invite to a party in the middle of nowhere by a random German waiter they just met. They obviously didn't see the movie taken,
hell?
Going to this party, which is likely a honeypot for human traffickers, was a
Right.
bad idea to begin with, even if it was in an easily found public location. But the fact that this place is so remote should be a massive red flag. I mean,
Right.
I guess they could have been invited to a forest rave party or something.
Literally out of nowhere.
Even then, they have no cell reception.
Wait, one thing I noticed with Nerd Explains is that he has so much comedy and wit in these videos.
Even then, they have no cell reception, they're following a paper map, and they both know that they're ill-equipped to deal with any level of adversity. They should have headed back home as soon as they left the urban areas. It's no
Right.
surprise that they get lost, but then to add accident to idiocy, they hit a pothole and pop their tire. Not that they have many options
they can't
here,
get
and
back.
I think they should ask the next person they see for help, but I can't help but be suspicious of the first person that arrives to help you minutes after you hit something.
So
Whatever.
fast?
They're probably just being paranoid. I'm
Right,
sure this guy
exactly.
will be helpful and call some help for them or give them a lift into town.
We have a flat tire.
Sag mal, dich kenne ich doch. Von dir habe ich doch eine ganz heiße Kassette zu Hause.
Okay, maybe wait for the next person. They can't be too far out. There should be more cars coming by within half an hour. They just need to sit tight and not do anything irrational. They're gonna do something irrational, aren't they? Yup, they decide that in order to save themselves, they need to start walking aimlessly through the adjacent forest in their heels while it's thunderstorming.
No.
You guys got lost when you had a map in front of you, and now somehow
You gonna
think
go
that
through
you'll
the
magically
forest?
find your way without the map in a dark, rainy forest?
Exactly.
Why wouldn't you at least walk alongside the road where you'd actually have a chance at coming across somebody?
Exactly.
Same.
I can already tell I'm gonna be rooting for the psychosurgeon.
You know what?
I don't know.
Lindsay, I'm not walking anymore. I'm tired of walking, okay?
Yeah, go
I bet
ahead
they
and
don't-
stitch her up behind the fat truck driver. Actually, go ahead and put her at the very end.
In a situation like for that at the very end, in a situation like that, you probably would lose your car too because you went in the forest in the middle of the night.
They eventually find a house and start yelling and banging on the back doors and windows, which is a great way to scare the hell out of the homeowner and get you shot. This homeowner opens up and asks
So
if they're
creepy.
alone, to which they answer yes, wrong move, and a red flag. The only reason he'd need to know if you were alone is if he had sinister intentions.
He
and
got
wanted to
something up
make
his
sure nobody
sleeve
would
for
come
y'all.
looking if something happened to you. Well,
Yeah, something
sinister
goes wrong.
intentions and wanted to make sure nobody would come looking if something happened to you. Well, maybe not the only reason. He may be genuinely concerned if you had another friend that needed help as well. But considering the creepy look on his face, I doubt it. Lindsay and Jenny should just leave with the bad vibes this dude's giving off. Or at least made up a story
Just
that their
dip.
other friend was just up the street by
Yeah.
a car and knows they came here. The
Right.
next mistake they made was to trust the stranger to make the call for help instead of using the phone themselves so they could verify that somebody knew where they are and was on the way. The final nail in their coffin was throwing back
Drinking
the
the
drinks
water.
some old single creepy looking dude prepared by himself in the kitchen. When they know he knows, nobody knows where they are. Not to mention that they've already had an encounter with the creepy good Samaritans of this area.
Verdammt nochmal! Kannst du nicht aufpassen, du dumme Sau!
I'm sorry.
Keine Augen im Kopf. Trampel!
I get that he's an unhinged sociopath, but bro, if you want to claim some prey, maybe chill out and stop yelling at the ladies.
Beach.
As for Lindsay and Jenny,
I would've
leave
left right away.
now.
Right.
Especially since you're
Exactly.
suspiciously feeling woozy all of a sudden after sipping on the cocktail he gave you. Lindsay whispers to Jenny that they need to get out of there right now, which they don't do. Instead, Jenny gulps down every last drop of the drink while Lindsay waits for the sociopath to come back so she can naively request him to phone a taxi. Not the sharpest tools in the shed. Heitza comes back, Jenny passes out, and Lindsay
Of course
starts
she
foaming
passes
at the
out.
mouth. And their last chance to escape with their dignity
Gone.
intact disappears forever.
You can't be too trusting of people, y'all. Oh, that's so crazy. Looking at that needle, bruh. I don't want to get the vaccine, y'all. I probably would have to get it to travel and stuff like that, man. The needle instantly made me think of the vax, bro.
The next morning, Lindsay's the first to wake up and come to grips with how badly they fucked up.
Tied up in hospital.
Tied up in
a hospital beds.
Never want to wake up in a hospital bed in somebody's basement. Needless to say, they need to get
truck
the fuck
driver
out of there ASAP. Luckily, Haita's not present. He might be out of the house or he might be upstairs. Either way, it's best to stay quiet, let him think you're still sedated, and use this opportunity to
try
attempt
escape.
an escape. For that reason also, Lindsay should not wake up Jenny, because she'll just start freaking out
making
and
a lot of
screaming.
noise.
It looks
Right.
like he secured them with non-locking leather restraints around their limbs, which were not sufficiently spaced apart to prevent torso and head movement. Absolute rookie mistake. There's so many proven effective restraint setups out there, and this guy
They coulda
uses
got it
the
out that
absolute
easy.
worst one possible. All
Right.
Lindsay needs
They
to
coulda
do
got it
is
out
use
easy.
her mouth to unbuckle the restraint and she's free. But no, ineffectually squirming and waking up her brainless friend is definitely a better idea.
Jenny!
She's
Jenny's
freaking
yelping
out.
brings Haita's attention, ruining their chance of escaping yet again. Haita then compares their blood types and concludes that the truck driver's does not match, so he needs to euthanize him and find a replacement. Gotta make sure the blood and tissues match when conjoining 3 people together ATM style, because longevity is really what the goal is here. The
He's
shining
so
silver lining
creepy.
of the truck driver's untimely death
Dead.
is that it buys the girl some time before Haita finds a replacement.
Find
for
someone
whatever
else.
sadistic shit he's
And
playing.
in that time, they could have tried escaping as much as possible.
That it buys the girl some time before Haita finds a replacement for whatever sadistic shit he's planning. They don't show it here, but later in the movie, Haita injects them with sedatives when he leaves. He probably did that here too, so Lindsay and Jenny would not be able to undo the shackles and escape.
Oh,
He leaves
okay,
them to go
okay.
bury the truck driver in his backyard in broad daylight with the corpse in an unzipped plastic body bag. Bro, could you not wait until nighttime? Or chop him up and put him in a black hefty bag instead of an obvious looking body bag? I wonder if YouTube will play hefty trash bag ads on this video now. Then he drags a new victim in through his front door,
Hefty.
again in broad daylight with a murder weapon on the roof of the car. I get that he lives in a secluded area, but still, why take the risk? After securing the Japanese tourist on a gurney, he wakes
Making
them up
himself
and gives
get
them the
caught
projector presentation,
easily.
outlining how he's going to connect them together via the gastric system, creating a human centipede of sorts. There's no point in telling them this ahead of time, but he's a sick and probably gets off on it. He's now going to put them under general anesthesia in preparation for their
so
surgery,
nasty.
starting with the Japanese tourist. Now is your absolute last chance to
Chance
fight
to
and
get
pull
out.
something off before your life is forever fucked. Lindsay wises up and unshackles herself while
With the
Haita
mouth,
is distracted
finally.
with Katsuro. She makes a conscious decision to leave her friend behind and run for the exits, but they're all locked. Of course, this guy has.
You
his
should have
house
just
set
fought
up so
him.
that people can't get out.
You should
from
have
the
just
inside.
grabbed. You should have just grabbed something and hit him over the head.
Locked. Of course, this guy has his house set up so that people can't get out from the inside. Haita's like a far more depraved version of Alex from the movie Tao, and with far less prestigious
I haven't seen this
goals.
movie.
Lindsay locks
That
herself in
movie.
his bedroom, which stalls him for now, but she needs to at least grab a weapon so she has
Weapon!
a chance if it comes to a hand-to-hand
Look at
fight.
a she
Wow,
got a
Haita
lamp.
really has a picture of his dog centipede thing next to his bed.
You need help! You're a sick man!
If you don't open immediately, I will cut your knees.
Instead of pleading for your life to the psychopath who gets off on people pleading for their lives, how about you go over to the phone next
There's
to
a
his bed
phone
and
in
call
there!
112, which is the 911 equivalent for Americans, which you should know if you're visiting other countries. She tries to
Oh
make
my
an escape out the back
gosh.
window, but Haita's one step ahead of
man's
her,
just waiting.
and he has his tranq rifle. Without knowing the layout of the place and Haita right behind her, it's understandable
She's a
that
sitting
she'd
duck.
accidentally run into a dead end like the indoor pool. It's also understandable that you lose your coordination when under extreme stress like this and trip into the pool like she did. I know
Right.
we all would like to think that we Jason Bourne this motherfucker when he stepped through the doorway, but real talk, that's not how it would go down. Lindsay's out of options here. If she gets out of the pool,
I would try,
she'll
though.
get tranked. Haita tries to force her out by closing the cover on his indoor pool, but for some reason this causes a power failure. I see no reason why he would have needed to leave Lindsay to go fix the power and let her escape. That was really stupid on his part. Lindsay breaks out and
that
makes
was the
it
best
back
way to get
room
away.
she was previously in that had the window broken. That phone looks like a corded landline phone, which should still work even with the power out. Picking up the phone to call for help apparently never crosses her mind though. This wide open window seems too easy. But then again, why did he let her leave the pool in the first place? Maybe he's not as smart as he appears. He could still be out there with the tranq rifle ready to dart her as soon as she exits.
Right.
The odds are in her favor though. Dart guns like the one Haida's using are single shot and take time to reload.
Reload
the darts
it.
are relatively low velocity and have a hard time puncturing thick clothing. If she wrapped the bedsheet around herself and ran for it, even if he was out there, there's a good chance he would miss.
Just
or
put the
wouldn't
bedsheet
puncture
around her.
At which point she can leave the bedsheet and sprint for it.
And just
Haita's
run.
home is not that isolated. If she sprinted 100 yards in any direction, she'd probably run into someone. She just needs to take care not to trip on a branch and bop her head off a log. Even if she did get hit and it punctured her skin, she'd still have 3 to 5 minutes to run for help before she lost a significant amount of her coordination from the tranquilizer. Lindsay hesitates, conflicted with her chance to escape and not wanting to leave Jenny behind. Going back for Jenny is a bad idea. Both Jenny and Katsuro are under general anesthetics in the basement. Haita will be back soon. There's no
The best thing she could have done was leave her and then get help and then go back. That's the best thing she could have done.
Katsuro are under general anesthetics in the basement. Haita will be back soon. There's no way she could drag them up the stairs and haul them to safety in time. She needs to secure her own escape first. From there,
right.
it should only take 20 minutes tops to bring the fuzz down on top of
Get
Haita's
the cops,
operation.
bro.
If you did want to go back and try to carry her out, the most effective way is to use the ranger roll and fireman's carry method. Too much friction dragging her on the ground and way too slow. She manages to get Jenny's unconscious body topside and out of the window, but it's taking too long.
Too
and she's
long.
way too loud about it. I'd say a tranq round will hit her in the back of the neck here any moment now.
You are right. If she just ran for it, she would have literally got away at that moment. You know what I'm saying? And this man needs free people. You get me, y'all? He needs free people. He would have tried to find someone else to replace her because she dipped.
Moment now.
I don't think he would have go through with a procedure with just 2 people.
Should have just ran and left Jenny. Realistically, she still could,
Yep.
since the tranq round will take a few minutes to kick
Few
in.
minutes to kick in.
Of course, he'd probably be able to run her clumsy ass down anyways. Lindsay and Jenny gave up every opportunity to escape, and now they're getting their teeth removed, skin grafted, body parts diced and sewed together with other humans, and all kinds of other horrific shit. Fun times. Haita then cheers to his successful completion of the conjoinment procedure with a celebratory drink, a photo shoot.
He joined up
wink,
together.
puts his human centipede into a large cage on the first floor of his house for some dumb reason. Escaping at this point is going to be tough. There's no way to effectively coordinate strategies or movements with the others while they're conjoined. They could potentially rip out the stitches by pulling with their head and hands to separate themselves, but their ligaments and tendons in their knees were sliced, so it's not like they could run
So
anyways.
creepy,
Haita
y'all.
then brings them outside to parade them around his backyard like dogs. I get his house may be secluded, but Lindsay and Jenny stumbled into it. It's not that secluded. He must just not give a shit about being caught.
The dude is apologizing.
Feed her!
Can you imagine the rage inside you if someone did this to you? Desperately
He's
wanting
trying-
to destroy him, being so close.
He's trying his best to hold it in, y'all. He can't hold it in forever.
Inside you if someone did this to you, desperately wanting to destroy him, being so close but being completely unable to do anything.
Can't do anything
Katsuro
about it.
does still have his arms intact. If he gets close enough, he could
He
pull
could
the dog to
grab
the
him.
ground and choke him out.
Right.
That's about their only option right now. Later that night, Haita threatens to cut their vocal cords if they don't quit their moaning because it's disturbing his sleep. Yeah, it's best to shut up. You don't want to lose your vocal cords now when you might need them to escape later. The next morning, he gives them a checkup. Katsuro and Lindsay are surviving, but Jenny doesn't look too good. Besides the massive infection she's developing, there's no way anything nutritious is finding its way back there, let alone enough water. Jenny probably only has a couple of days left. Someone rings his landline, so Haita picks up the phone right outside his torture chamber filled with moaning and screaming victims. Smart. Maybe you'd want to pick up one of the other phones in the house to answer
Further away.
calls, or just let them leave a message while you're torturing people. And of all people, it's the police, letting him know that they're at the front door and he needs to open up. Gee, it couldn't be that they acquired evidence pointing to him as a suspect in the recent abductions with how inconspicuous he was.
Yeah,
The police
right?
obviously don't have anything substantial substantial yet though, or they'd have barged in already. They also don't seem to have heard any of the screaming in the background on the phone. Haita leaves to go upstairs, leaving them in the lab alone. I bet there's a weapon in there they could grab, like a scalpel. Then all Katsuro needs to do is grab Haita's leg and start shanking him in the femoral artery enough to get him on the ground where he can cut his throat. The police start questioning Haita over the missing people and the empty cars in the area, and his reply is,
Habe ich weder die Zeit noch die Nerven.
the police had thought they hit a dead end, but now it's looking like they have a strong suspect. I mean, on the other hand, you wouldn't necessarily expect an abductor to be such an asshole, because often it's the more unassuming and charming ones that are the real danger, like Jack the Ripper, Ted Bundy, Alex and Tao, or Trinity and Dexter. But if I was one of these detectives, I'd be suspicious, especially after seeing this cage. Apparently, the detectives got word that a witness said she heard an American woman screaming on his property, and they also have evidence that his Mercedes was at the place where the Dutch lorry where he killed the truck driver
dead guy.
was found. Wouldn't all this be grounds for a search warrant? Haita realizes that they're onto him, so he offers them his infamous drink. Yeah, that'll get the cops off your tail. 2 missing detectives and an empty cop car in your driveway.
That's not gonna work.
Whatever a potential suspect gives you has to be a big no-no for detectives.
Right.
Mueller accepts and starts sipping on it, but at least Kranz has the brains to refuse.
To not do it.
Beeilen Sie sich!
Sweet mother of God, they spent this whole time screaming when a fucking scalpel was right next to them. If I was Lindsay, I'd probably want to get the scalpel and cut Katsuro's ass from my face so I could have a chance at fighting on my own. And without Lindsay attached to his ass, Katsuro could better fight Haita too. I say this, but it would be absurdly painful. I think I'd at least try, given the situation. I'm not sure they have a ton of time to do this, so having Katsuro palm the scalpel and ambush Haita is the best option. The police then question Haita about his cellar, and he jokes about it being a torture chamber, which is always a really good thing to say to cops when being questioned about recent abductions.
He says it's a torture. Oh no, it's just a nice little, you know, a nice little workroom, office space. You know, I torture people in there. You know what I'm saying? I got a sweatshop in there as well.
A torture chamber, which is always a really good thing to say to cops when being questioned about recent abductions. The detectives ask to take a look down there, but Haita refuses. Of course, he says no. Need a search warrant first. Detective Kranz presses him further, and Haita accidentally drops a syringe on the ground, supposedly for his diabetes. By now, we've clearly established that the surgeon is a psycho who doesn't give a fuck about people going missing. Witnesses saying they've heard American women screaming on his property, which matched the profile of 2 of the people who went missing.
He doesn't care about being caught.
Was spotted next to the location of the truck whose driver was abducted. A large, suspicious cage with blood on it. Incredibly weird pictures and art. A cellar which the violent suspect refuses to let you into. Oh, and he was hiding a syringe under a towel which is filled with God knows what. I don't know German law or law in general, but I think they have sufficient probable cause to easily get a search warrant, which they do, but I'd also call for some additional backup considering Haita's been pretty volatile. While the cops are out getting a search warrant, Haita goes back downstairs to try and hide his human triplet. Tall task with only 20 minutes before they're back.
They're gone. Got him in the foot. Got him in the leg. You deserve it.
Guys, what the fuck? You had him. Why would you not finish the job? A shank to the leg and a bite on the neck is nowhere near lethal. How hard is it to pull the scalpel out of his leg? You should have just pulled it out and put it in his neck. And shove it into his heart. Wouldn't you want to ensure that he's 100% dead? Gone? For what he did to you?
Exactly.
So he couldn't come back after you? Surprise, surprise. Haida's not dead and corners them in the bedroom. Just when you think you're going to see a human centipede is not dead and corners them in the bedroom. Just when you think you're going to see a human centipede versus Haita knife fight, Katsuro gives up. He has some sort of epiphany that his ass being sewed to someone else's face was God's wrath for living a selfish life and not loving his family more. So he kills himself. Because that makes sense. You know what's selfish? Not killing this guy and freeing the 2 innocent people trapped behind you, condemning them to death because you wanted to commit seppuku to rid yourself of sin. You could have at least tried to save their lives and take this evil f down.
You could have tried to fight instead of just taking yourself out, bro. You just fight him. If you died fighting him, at least you died, you know, human centipede up. Not standing up, obviously. But
rid yourself of sin. You could have at least tried to save their lives and take this evil down before committing suicide. The doc leaves the triplet and crawls back over to the pool as the police break in and
cops
search
are back.
the place. Looks like they didn't call for backup. Detective Voller should have been feeling the effects of the drugs by now, at which point he should have let his partner know so they could call off the raid and get backup. Voller didn't communicate this and tried to push through the effects and wound up dead in the pool with a scalpel in his neck.
He should have just
Franz
let
hears
him
the fall
know.
into the pool, rushes in half-cocked, and gets lit up too.
got shot too. Ooh!
I never understood
Headshot!
why when people open a door and they see a dead body, they rush right over to it. Wouldn't that make you take
You
a
look
pause
around.
and carefully clear the air?
You be up, you be like, oh, dead body. Start looking around cautiously with your gun out, bro. Come on,
Rush
fam.
right over to it. Wouldn't
Right.
that make you take a pause and carefully clear the area, checking all your corners?
Exactly.
Obviously, the wounded man who killed your friend is still down here and is still a threat, so hastily running in there would likely get you killed too. At least he dome shot at Haita before keeling over. The movie ends with Lindsay stuck in the middle of a dead Katsuro and a dead Jenny with 2 dead cops and a dead Haita in the pool. We can presume that Lindsay was later found by other cops who went looking after the missing
After the other
detectives, and
cops.
they brought her to a hospital where a surgeon separated her from the rest of the human centipede. She would
Right.
then go on to get plastic surgery to fix her face, as well as operations to replace the ligaments in her kneecaps and her teeth, paid for by Dr. Haita's money. Isn't it amazing that nowadays you could get brutally disfigured? I mean utterly wrecked, and there's a building you can go to with people in it who have the tools and expertise to fix all the damage done to you. It's on.
You come out looking like Cardi B. You come out like a brand new person.
People in it who have the tools and expertise to fix all the damage done to you. It's honestly incredible. Lindsay won't be winning any beauty pageants, and she'll have to lower her dating standards substantially. But at least she could live a semi-normal life, maybe get a book deal and make some talk show appearances until she later
About being
decides to kill herself due to the overwhelming survivor's guilt and PTSD. Happily ever after. Let's
What?
recap
That's
who
not-
would have lived or died with some different
That's not-
decisions. Firstly, I want to say RIP to Dieter Laser, who passed away last year. No, I'm not going to put him on the dead board. That would be senseless. Guys, I'm actually a fairly empathetic person, but back to the movie. The trucker was dead no matter what. Lindsay and Jenny should have stayed in their car or walked along the road for help,
Okay.
which would have prevented all of this. But Haita could have picked them up like he did with Katsuro and the truck driver. So what then? There was a pivotal moment when Lindsay could have dialed 112 and escaped out the back window and gotten help from the police.
If she didn't turn back for her friend, she could have got away. And that's not a happy ending, you know, taking your own life because of PTSD. She definitely could have wrote a book about being a human centipede. Though.
Lindsay
You're
could
right.
have dialed 112 and escaped out the back window and gotten help from the police, but instead tried to drag her unconscious friend out too.
No,
she could have
that was
saved
the L.
Jenny and Katsuro's lives, prevented the detectives' deaths, and landed Haita in prison. The next
right?
pivotal moment was when Katsuro stabbed Haita with the scalpel.
He didn't
and then
kill
they
him.
left him alive. If they had just ensured Haita was dead, Katsuro and Jenny might have lived, as well as the cops. All said and done, I think we could have beaten Yosef Haita from Human Centipede first sequence. Thanks for watching, and remember, don't ask strangers for help without having a plan to kill them.
The best advice I got all week, y'all. It's been a long week on YouTube, and it's the best advice I got all week. Yo, I love Nerd Explains his comedy, like his script and writing style. He has so much wit, y'all. That was really funny. He got a bunch of jokes in there, guys. I love it. He made the horror movie not as creepy as I remember it to be. Still super creepy though. But I really enjoyed this video. I thought it was a banger. I want to check out more Nerd Explains videos, so let me know what I should react to next. Let me know what you thought of my reaction and the video in the comment section. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thank y'all so much for watching, especially if you made it to the end. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.